So let's talk about the new live action Moana. Uh, I did review Moana like a while back. I don't remember what I said about it, but I'll just state up front. I don't really love the original Moana. It's a good movie. I actually rewatched it before seeing this, and I actually was like, wow, I really underestimate how great this movie is. But for me, it's one of those Disney movies that's so tropey and then tries to like do that thing in the modern era Disney movies where like, well, if you wear a skirt and sing a song or whatever Maui says in that movie, you're a princess, right? It's like, okay, you're not really inventing anything and doing anything new, but it was a great movie. It has good music, beautiful animation. It's just not one of my personal favorites. So this movie was already at a disadvantage for me. And then you just have to think like everyone's saying it. It's too soon for a live action remake. We just had Moana 2, literally in 2024. It's now 2026, and we're getting a remake of the first movie. That makes no sense. Also, like, just think about it like this: Donald Trump was president the first time we had a Moana movie. He's president again, and we have a new one. We live in the worst timeline. Just saying. This movie uh, is really bad. Everyone's saying it's really bad. But let me start with a few positives. And then we'll get into the obvious reasons this movie sucks. The actress who plays Moana is really the only good part about this movie because she is so much of the animated character, and I get the vibe that this movie didn't give actors proper direction, but it felt like she, even though she probably wasn't given proper direction, did everything perfectly. She said every line perfectly. She had moments that stood out to me in ways that her original voice actress, Aliki Gavalio, or whatever, how you say that name, she did it. And I really think this actress, Catherine, whatever her name is, she's going to do some really great stuff with her career, hopefully, because she's terrific, right? Um, Other mild positive is that Maui and Moana have some new dialogue, and occasionally it's pretty good. Like, I feel like, or not good, but like some of their banter is like slightly enjoyable. Some of the new banter, because whatever. Now we'll get into why this movie's bad. First of all, this movie's a shot-for-shot remake of the original Moana, and actually more than I expected. Because the thing was, I was hearing reports that, hey, there's a new song that the original voice actress for Moana sang, and then, the new Moana sang. And I was thinking, they worked together on it, right? I was like, oh, so they're going to have the song in the movie, like maybe during a montage or something. That song is in the credits. So the only kind of new thing that we knew we were getting from this movie is in the credits. And the song, I didn't really hear enough of it because, to be honest with you, the moment those credits rolled, I left the theater. I was not going to sit through a bunch of fucking credits for this shitty movie. Because while there's people who worked on this movie that were trying, this movie was shit. And it's just because, like, you watch this movie, and I think this is the most egregious remake because, again, like I said, like, it's just so soon, but also, like, this is the one where you watch it and you go, how did Disney spend $200 million remaking this great animated movie only to have acting this bad? Right? How is it all these actors who I'm watching their performances and I'm going, this feels like you were just told, say the line from the animated movie and given no other direction. So you just did it, and then they just did the one take. And I don't know if part of that is like, of course, a lot of these actors were on green screens and not on like real locations, things like that. But whatever the fucking reason it is like that, it's so bad. The grandma, the dad, the only ones that were, slightly enjoyable was, the ones like The Rock. The Rock, I feel like I've seen hate for his performance, and I honestly don't think his performance was that bad. I felt like he was phoning it in a little bit. I think what's maybe making people feel that way is that he has this awful wig, of course. And I feel like I understand that, but at the end of the day, he is trying a little bit. Again, he has new lines of dialogue, but I don't know. It just doesn't work. These song sequences, they just kind of happen in this movie. It feels like, we're like, there was like some better like lead into the song. There's no lead in. What's weird about this movie? Okay, this is a 2-hour movie, but it's a shot for shot remake, and I don't really understand these Disney live action remakes that are longer than the original, but they don't add anything to the original, where they're just shot for shot remakes. Like, how is the Lion King remake 2 hours when the original is an hour and a half? And it's because at the end of the day, the people who make the animated movies are very excuse me. Let me get something to drink. Give me a sec. They're very efficient storytellers, where they're technically telling the same amount of story in between these remakes, but they're more efficient at it. They're just better at it, and so it leads to so much of a stronger like movie, and it's really just it just really highlights how good those animated movies are, right? Because I know because this is giving me all the same beats, but they feel longer because they extend dialogue or just make the scene sit longer, and it just is not good. I don't even know. I felt like, and what's also annoying is there's dumbass people you're still seeing about this movie trying to go, well, it's not for you, it's for a new generation. Why are we still making that argument with this movie? Moana is 10 years old. It's not for a new generation. If you watch the trailer for this movie, they spoil plot points in the movie in the fucking trailer. This is not for a new generation. Let's stop. This trend needs to die. I'm glad this movie's reportedly not going to do great at the box office because it's so ridiculous that we're still doing this in the way we're doing it. At least when it was the Flintstones or Rocky and Bullwinkle or stuff like that, it felt like those were people who made those movies who were trying to do weird and unique things, and they weren't good at, Flintstones was, but, didn't always work, but it felt like, okay, well, at least those stand out, they're interesting, there's a point to it, I guess. This is like, what the fuck even is this? You're remaking a movie from 10 years ago to add nothing to it. And this whole trend just reminds me of when they remade Psycho. Everyone hated it. And then we're doing this, and it's making billions and millions of dollars. It's sad. I don't know.